podcast, blog, everything, military transition host to get the information out there to you, my viewers, listeners. So you see my screen, and this is gonna compound off of the last episode of my vlog, but I'll work backwards a little bit if you didn't have a chance to watch that one. If you've been in the military more than a day, you've seen a slide that looks something like this: Road to War, right? So in the last episode, I talked about kind of identifying your skills and both via the resume and then looking at yourself with the culture, with the company organization, with income, with skills, growth opportunities, and all that good stuff. So we determined there in that example that I or the individual was really looking to get out of military logistics and get into hospital. Let's say I picked a location. I picked Dallas Fort Worth area because I have friends and family that are up there, and I really want to get in the hospital. I want to make a difference in the community. I want to continue to serve a mission. I've talked to some people. It's really what I want to do. And my skills wise, the only thing that really correlated was some of my supply chain management as a logistician within the United States Army. So in this example, I'm going to preach backwards planning, right? So in the military, we're taught backwards planning and we're taught actions on the objective, right? So when you go out on a convoy or you're going to go out maybe to do a cordon and search, you focus most of your training, most of your planning on those actions on the objective. You don't necessarily plan for when you do your rehearsals react to IED. That's a TTP, that's a battle drill. So that kind of stuff, yes, you do plan for it, especially at certain choke points within your route. But bottom line is most of the time and efforts focus on the actions on the objective. Well, in the military transition, we don't do that. We focus one step forward at a time. We start to look at, go, oh, okay, I'm going to, I'm a logistician. I've worked in a military warehouse, so that means I should go work at a distribution center somewhere for Amazon or Walmart or Target or something of that nature. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. There is no defined career path. So in this example, we decided again, we want to go work in a hospital. It's like really what we believe in. We're still trying to figure out what we want to do, but we know we have some skill sets on the logistician side. So what I recommend is you do just that. You make it vague, kind of off the bat, as much as possible. You go work in hospital. All right, and that's kind of your end state. That's your mission. That's what you're trying to do in life. Like that's your road to victory, right? So rather than finding this career path of going, oh well, I have to work in supply chain management within the hospital, and that's going to really force my salary to not potentially be as good as I want. Especially, I might be in a sub area. I might not even be the manager. I might be a specialist who's basically like, we won't even say supply chain manager / inventory specialist. So now you're talking about, okay, I'm taking a pretty significant pay cut, but this is really what I want to do, right? So then I start to find out, okay, this is one path. How do I go about doing that? So then I start placing what I would look at goals in line. So here will be an example of so here I'm going to say we'll go get our I believe it's the CSCP from APICS. So we believe that the CSCP is going to allow us to understand supply chain strategy a little bit more. It's going to give us a certification that's well known, well recognized, give me a little additional background. It's going to take about $800 to $1,200 or so. It's going to take some time and studying, but I can do this when in the military as long as I don't go to a CTC rotation. So again, the point of planning this out, and you might have a few different paths depending on how far you are from getting out, but the point is giving yourself this time. This time matters. If this timeline is zero, we'll say this is we are now, and we're going to this is 5 years from now. So I just gave myself 5 years to make some of these goals happen, right? And then some of the other additional things, maybe I'm going to look at, an MBA. Maybe I'll look at an MBA. Maybe I'll look at a kind of a supply chain degree, some degree here. So this is probably the easier accomplishing one, and I put this en route. But then I go, okay, well, like that gets me into the hospital. It gets me familiar. I have some skills that fit this path. But that's not necessarily the only route I want to take. Like as much as I enjoy working in the hospital, helping people, I really want to get to the people. So then I start looking at other potential avenues of approach, right? So I'm going to go, whoops. I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to go, okay, here's my next avenue. I'm just going to change the color of this. So that's going to be one, no, I'll make it yellow, green here. That's going to be one avenue. This is going to be another avenue here. Make this one red. Taking it up so you all can see it. So then I'm going to go, okay, so what are my other interests that get me into the hospital? They might not be this direct path, but I really like, I work out a lot. I lift weights. I believe in exercise. So now I'm going, okay, this might be some sort of a I'll say some sort of a nutrition. I'm going to start assessing nutrition. I got 5 years. So how long? I got my GI Bill. So I might be able to just start with basic. Basic. I'm going to start a blog. You know what? I'm going to start a blog and a podcast on nutrition. That's what I'm going to do. I can do that in my free time. I kind of pretty much do it. I read labels when I go to the store. I'm going to take some pictures and take blogs, and I'm going to talk about it. And that's going to give me my, that's going to give me a little bit of the background of information and kind of help build my brand, right? I'm going to start using and then I'm going to start using LinkedIn. So I'm going to develop my brand around nutrition. I know I don't have to necessarily develop my brand around at this point. I can always change it because I have some of the skills that align with supply chain management. So I'm going to start building my LinkedIn brand here on nutrition and start my own blog. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and use my GI Bill and kind of somewhere around the year, maybe the 3-year mark or so, 4-year mark, I'm going to go ahead and get a nutrition degree. So there you go. There's another avenue or another option or a route for me to go on that side of the house. So additionally, some of the other things that I want to look at here is that I really believe the exercise piece. So and I really want to become a physical therapists. So I believe that this route might be a bit harder. I'll be honest, I'm not the smartest person in the world. I don't have a whole lot of background in physical therapy, um, but it's something that interests me. So I'm going to do some informational interviews. I'm going to try to learn a little bit about it because I do like working out and I do like helping people. So that's a potential avenue that I'm going to explore to get in the hospital. And then, of course, there we'll go with kind of another more direct line route, and we'll say that this one is hospital administration. So bump this line up. So I do have administrative background. I am a leader within the military. I can sell that skill a little bit, but I also know that I have no experience in a hospital. So maybe this getting this certification kind of helps me with both sides of the house, and then down the road I have to decide on whether I'm going to get a supply chain degree or whether I'm going to try to maybe get a maybe I'll look at an MBA still, but then I'll get hospital admin degree. And maybe that's not the route. Maybe I don't want to get either one of these degrees. Maybe I believe in more of the certification piece and kind of going through some of the other certifications that are out there. And I just need to get that in, because once you get in kind of anywhere and start making a name for yourself, you can learn on the job training. You can do, I guess non-degree, non-certification type training that allows you to learn that organization if you wish to stay within that industry and within that organization. So I guess the moral of the story is you find out at the end of the day what you want to do. Like, it could be still pretty vague, and I recommend keeping it pretty vague. It's kind of like a vision statement, if you will. And then you find the different avenues of approach. And then sometimes you might explore this and it might go, okay, like this is just, after informational interviews, is just probably not going to happen. I'm just not going to be I'm not as interested as I thought I was just because I like working out. I'm probably not going to be able to go back and get the degree. It just doesn't sound very appealing to me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna cut that one out. But I've really just enjoyed talking about it. I'm going to still keep up on the blog side of the house. So then maybe you do end up, let's say this route does not become an option to you. You do go this route, but you still continue to run this route on the side. And you still continue to write your blog, and then you get some better guests. You get some of the nutritionists that are in your hospital, and as you grow that network, and they start to value you a little bit more. And then at the end of the day, you'll probably end up in that kind of industry. You need to have a degree to become a nutritionist, but it's going to grow your worth if potentially you get into this supply chain management gig. And then you go back, and let's say you go back and really you don't do any of this. Let's say I don't get another degree, but I continue to run this simultaneously here, and then I end up becoming maybe after supply chain management, I end up becoming a hospital administration or some sort of hospital administration that's focused specifically on the nutrition side of the house. So nutrition slash hospital admin. All right, so I know this is really the down and dirty and the nitty and gritty, but I really do recommend it. And I'm going to just kind of, I can show you my whole big thing, but I mean, I've started to do it, started to do it myself, with some of basically the road to war. I haven't put the goals on there yet. Still assessing some stuff, but I mean, even I'm there, right? So I'm trying to get to what is that end state? And that's like to retirement. So that's why I haven't gone out and put it out there. But I'm trying to figure out, what does retirement look like to me versus what does retirement look like to somebody else? And and then trying to put goals and really, to read Rich Dad Poor Dad, assets, make everything align towards those goals. If you get a CSCP certification and you never used it, then it's a liability. You spent money on it, and you didn't get anything from it. But if you use it within your plan, then it becomes an asset. It becomes something that 800, $1,200 becomes of value to you, both knowledge wise and then potentially income wise down the road. So it's a matter of perspective and how you look at it, and a matter of finding assets or finding things that become assets to your goal. So you need to know kind of that goal, and it could be a vision again and what it looks like. So that's my recommendation today. Backwards plan. Give yourself as much time as possible. You can start this in the military, even if you're not transitioning, by just doing informational interviews, getting to know people, getting to know your interest. I always say it, stop by the coffee shop and figure out if that's something you want to do or not. And then check those blocks if you're interested and cross them out if you're not. So thank you very much for taking time today. Watch this. As always, leaving the foxhole better for the next person.